Welcome, my name's Chris, and I'm back this week with a lesson to help anyone struggling with music theory or ear training. This is really an exercise aimed at getting you connected to some first principles with music, meaning the way we actually hear and experience music at a visceral, physical level. Now, I'll be showing you this simple exercise. All we're going to be doing is playing a major scale on our instrument, practicing a few different things with it in an effort to show you the feeling of a collected group of notes together that we really deeply recognize in our culture, and to hear notes outside of that contrasted with it. This is kind of in response to many people's journey with ear training that I've heard back from on this channel, and many positive stories and occasionally some confusion, because this is really confusing stuff to study, right? And I see this disconnect happen constantly, and I want to talk about it. It's happened to me in composing music or thinking about soloing or in many creative situations where I just start drowning in information and I'm unable to respond in any authentic way because I have no intuitions in place and I'm not letting my body and my heart kind of lead the way versus my brain. So here's the exercise. We're going to learn a major scale, in this case E major. I just picked that for guitar, and hopefully you can join me along on another instrument or the guitar. We're going to learn it well enough in just one octave of 7 notes to be able to play it pretty automatically, and also possibly to even explore it in an improvisational way. Jump around in the key of E, essentially. Just one octave is enough. You're welcome to, of course, make this bigger exercise. You can go all over your instrument, all over the guitar, every single string, different positions. That's all a good idea. On the guitar, if you're joining me, I would try to play it on only the thinnest string. Every major scale follows this pattern of this 2 frets or 1 fret skip. So on the thinnest string, open, this would look like this. You'd have open thinnest, and then second note would be here, whole step up, 2 frets, right? Another whole step up for the third note, now a half step. So far we have do, re, mi, fa. I usually use numbers for this level, this melody level of ear training. So you could call this 1, 2, 3, 4, or solfege, whatever you like. And then going up, we would have the 7th fret for the 5th note. Right, so whole step to 2, whole step to 3, half step to 4, whole to 5, whole to 6, 9th fret now, whole to 7, 11th fret, and then finally half to 12. As far as technique is concerned, wherever you're at with using multiple fingers is probably good. There's a time and place for that, but here this is more about a bigger picture harmony thing. But I would encourage you to try to use maybe index, ring and pinky on that first little bit, and maybe index, middle, pinky, maybe, and you use the pinky twice to get up to 12. Now, once you can get this under your fingers a little bit, and of course, take it slow if you need to, then you can also add this drone underneath, in our case, the thickest string. And the guitar is so cool because we have these just for free all the time, right? It's a free note. So I can always I can pick up a guitar and just play this and play over it. And this is what I'm talking about here. I want you to be able to play over this scale. Let's say those first 4 notes, let's say this is brand new to you. So really incorporate those. Just make something up. Go up, go down, pause on certain notes. And if you are serious about ear training, you might want to tag these at some level eventually. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to feel that journey, right? I will have more tests and content and lessons on this exact thing in the future. And then we have up here, right? 5. So I encourage you to join me. Play along with me. I love this when 2 instruments play together, even like random major scale stuff. It's super cool. Really make some big jumps. Play that thickest string, or use a drone if you want to do that and not have to play the original note. The kind of natural harmonics the guitar has sometimes when you hit certain notes. Right? You can go up past 12, of course, if you want. Maybe we'll do a little bit more. Just really get the sound. Great technique practice, right? Holding long notes. Of course, you can do this over other strings. The open B string also sounds really good here. right? Really get down as little as you need to kind of feel comfortable. So my point for making this video, one of my points was to show you this, that there's a response, this like nervous system response, perhaps. I'm not a doctor, but we've been playing a lot of these notes that go together, right? And pretty much every song you've ever heard has had a major scale in it. I understand there are minor keys, minor scales, there's atonal music, there's music that breaks all these rules and doesn't use these 7 notes a bunch. But for the most part, this has been it, right? This is the world we kind of been born into, of these 7 notes that really work together and tell a story. So now, take emotional stock. What are you feeling from this beautiful landscape we've created, right? This soundscape of major. Now I want you to play 3rd fret, G natural on another instrument. Compare the feeling, right? So to me, this is a feeling. Like, this is such a different vibe, right? Like, whoa, it's like major plot development. To me, it's like someone reading benign words and then all of a sudden they say a very charged word, or they're showing you benign images and all of a sudden we have an image that is markedly different. That's how to approach sound. So if you're struggling with studying this stuff, we have to get back to that first principle of like, this is sound and it affects us in a certain way. There's a great thinker named Iain Mcgilchrist that I've briefly mentioned on this channel. I'll be talking about him a lot more because his whole thesis of how the hemispheres of the brain attend to the world differently, I think has massive implications for musicians. This is related here. I think that what we often do is mistake the map for the territory, as he puts it. Meaning, we're taught a bunch of rules in music theory or in ear training or in how to play our instruments or how to write a song or whatever the thing you're talking about. And we mistake that for the actual experience of doing the thing and of being moved by music that breaks those rules a lot of the time. To think of like this major scale concept here. I play jazz and I solo a lot in other genres of music. To think that this is a more right collection of notes than one of the notes outside is kind of an insane idea, because this is just a certain sound. So if I want this sound, I need to understand how to conjure this world up. And this is really the starting spot for, I think, all of our ears in some respects because of the culture we're born into. But the cool thing is to understand by playing the wrong things, you start to key into emotion. How about this note here? This is 6, right? I'm gonna go up a half step to flat 7. Whoa. Listen for that again. Major scale. Right? And all these notes have their certain personality too. In fact, I've got some of the arrows there I'll talk about in the future that these notes kind of have these stasis points of the red, right? Where our 1 chord, right? 3 wants to go down or maybe up, right? 5 is stable, but 5 could go down to 3. 4 really wants to go down to 3. Right? Hear that? And then we have on the other side this kind of gravity going up towards 1. 5. Right? How many times have we heard that? 7 wants to go up. It's the opposite of 4. It wants to go up to that half step. Right? That flat 7. Hopefully it makes you feel different than this. Or this. How about the extreme nature of flat 2? Ooh, right? That's a feeling to me. Might be a feeling you hate or love. Right? Such a different feeling. That's what I'm trying to convey here. Is it's not like 2D information. It's got to be like 3D. It's got to be lived experience. If you are studying music or enjoy music, if you don't have an experience of different quality, hearing these notes versus these notes, so such a different, like worlds apart. You can ascribe many things to this. This is a certain kind of innocent, simple story, right? So many songs, right? Do this. And then this. So inward, dark, right? That's what we're trying to key into with music. And that's all we have. This is like, that's all it is. That's all music is. It's just feelings. It's these states that we go in and out of. And the key doesn't even matter, right? If you ask someone, oh, does this make you feel differently? Or this? Right? It might, maybe so. Maybe there's a little difference of the register or whatever. Or, of course, how you play it will be different in a certain key. We're trying to get to the feeling at the bottom of all this. And the feeling is not going to necessarily be my feeling. I'm just trying to argue for the differences of your feelings because I think they're there, right? Again, like here's some notes around 5. Right? I got to play this really, really cool piece by Mcgilchrist, which is like this wind band composer. And it had this sonority in it. The whole piece had a lot of this. Flat 6. Right? And actually in a major context, so it was kind of like this. It's just such a foreboding, right? Dark. It's like utter mystery, like what's going to happen, right? And that's super cool. And you can read into this however you like. This is why I wrote these down at the bottom, is because all these different outside pitches, which you can visualize on a piano, because the piano has just all the white keys, C major scale, and we have these black keys in between, right? We have a group of 2 and a group of 3. So we have the flat 2, the flat 3, that was these. When you play both of them, very Spanish. How about major 3 and a flat 2? Right? So that's a certain feeling to me. These can be really figured out and named, and your scale hearing can kind of accommodate these right off to the side notes. So if you can hear 2, maybe you'll eventually hear that, right? And then flat 3, that minor third. And then we have flat 5, flat 6, and flat 7. Flat 5 is the tritone, right in the middle of the octave, 6th fret. And this one is a little actually kind of pretty in certain contexts, right? It's a little softer actually than this 4. Right? But if I play that sharp 4, I'm going to actually trade out and instead of the 4, play the sharp 4, which is called Lydian. This is the concept behind modes, if you're not aware, is that they feel differently, right? This, E major, Lydian, that sound. There's one of those movie cards that plays that's like, it plays that note. Very epic, right? That sounds great. Here's that 4 again. Right, the 4 wants to go here more, down. And this wants to go maybe up. Right? Kind of rambunctious, has the Simpsons vibe. Right? And then that flat 6. Ooh. Like I said, it's just such a sharp, so serious, right? Lots of rock songs start off like this, right? Just so close to 5, but not quite there. And then finally flat 7, which is a great sound and used a lot in rock and roll, has a certain kind of sarcastic almost, right? Not so tender. Right, that's the major 7 versus the flat 7. Those are worlds apart to me, right? If I hear a vibe of a song, jazzy, right? And then this flat 7, which has kind of a bluesy, just sardonic, sarcastic feeling to me. These can be sharpened, right? Every one of these numbers you can develop a relationship with, and every single scale sounds the same. So essentially every song is in the same key. It's almost like that, right? That's the goal. I assume my car door opens up, I hear this. Well, that's my key. And I hear like my tailgate opens and it goes whatever the tune is, right? Whatever the sounds are in our life, we can hear them in this context, even if we don't even know the key or the notes. There's a cell phone ring in my life. I want to say it's my mom's, and it goes like this. maybe anyone knows Android or old Nokia sounds. It sounds like to me 5-3. It's like my Bonnie, right? But I'm hearing that certain context, so I'm hearing 5-3-1. There's not even a 1 there, but I just hear it as 5-3, and it's a perception. It's like a physical, emotional thing. I'll be doing more lessons on melodic ear training, so be sure and like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. This is something I truly think anyone can practice, and I hope that you can try this exercise out on your own. What I would do if you play guitar is try this with other strings. So play maybe an open A string, and then make yourself find an A major scale on any other string. So let's say I find an A major scale on the thinnest, and I find the A on 5th fret. Then I could play through this, and this is my 1 now, so I could go below 7, be a half step, right? 6, 5. I could play up from there. Right, and just kind of get fluent with that. I would, again, try on 1 string. I think it's kind of fun. And then you could play some outside notes from that. And eventually you can get these ear trained more as these become more and more apparent, because these are the anchors for these. The diatonic notes are the anchors for all these things and how we hear these. These all kind of want to resolve to one of these, right? We want to go like 1, flat 2, 1, or 7, 1, flat 7. Or 6, flat 6, right? It's like a little blues turnaround, right? It uses flat 7 to 5 open. So just a good way also to practice in a key, meaning I just want to be able to practice playing some pretty stuff in one key melodically or harmonically or both. So here's the key of D. What if I went like this? Kind of getting comfortable. Really, you can make sense of the guitar's layout, I think, and also the layout of the scale. And of course, you can try 2 strings. And then play some of these outside notes. Right? Find the connection points, right? 6, 5, 4, 3. How about that sharp 4? I'm gonna go up, right? Hopefully I've given you some ideas on how to practice this. It's a really fun exercise, and I really love playing to a drone. It is really beautiful. And on guitar, I don't see enough of this. Playing with our open strings, right? There are guitarists that do such a good job with this, using it in their arrangements and in their playing in general. And when we can, it's a really good way to study harmony, because I can just have this pad here and just keep on taking an open note and play along with it. And before you know it, you're making a tune-up or something. I hope this has been helpful. Please like and subscribe again. I'll be back with a lot more resources on all this stuff. I'm trying to unlock as many ears as possible here. And I hope today's lesson will maybe make it easier to hear the overall feeling of one key and to hear when we step out of that key. To inspect, like, what does it make me feel like? That's really the whole journey, right? That's all we have, is whatever we feel, and how can we recognize that for the future and respond to that in a musical way, and really let that guide us to get more and more of what you feel, and to be able to have all the notes in music at our disposal to tell our story, to express our feelings. Until next time, have fun with this exercise, and let me know in the comments if there are any questions or if you have any tips or tricks with this kind of exercise. And I will see you next time. Thanks.